That's only one question, Glenn.
Between you and Matt, it's only one question.
Right. Well, thanks for being here. As I said, I don't think you can take this for granted. It's hard to make the NCAA tournament, and to still be playing at this time with our group is special because I believe in this group, and I think our experience will matter. I think our connectedness will matter. And I think we're talented too. I don't think it's just about, I probably oftentimes talk too much about how experienced we are, but I don't talk about our talent level. But, over the last 2 years, we've won 52 games. And this group will be a tough out. I know just enough about Illinois to know I need to watch some film and get more familiar with them, and kind of the same thing with Texas. But anytime you're still playing, and again, I think I would say this too. I think prep in an NCAA tournament is important because there is less familiarity, and so I think you trust an older team to prep the right way, and then also within the game be able to adjust a little bit. And I think that's been true of our team over the last 3 years.
Open the floor to questions for Morgan Molly and Lauren Jensen.
What's the feeling like this just kind of being the potential last drive for you guys? But it's coming up quickly, and now it's kind of one game at a time from here on out.
Yeah, it's a reality that's kind of set in, especially the last week or two. But I feel everybody in the country's in the same spot. But with so many of us playing as much as we do, this being our last go of it, I think we're a tough team to beat, but with that extra chip and just how much we love playing together and being here is going to make it even harder to beat us.
Lauren, I guess on the women's side it's a little bit unique because on the men's side the power league is all the way up to the 11th hour. You guys have been kind of had an opportunity to kind of sit and think about the last run, who you're going to get matched up with, and what it's going to be like. What were some of the thoughts that have kind of gone through your mind in the days off as you've leading up to today where you find out where you're going and who you're playing?
Yeah, honestly, I like the break. I think it's pretty nice. It's a good mental reset to get your mind right and get your body right going into the NCAA tournament. I wasn't too stressed out about it. I wasn't too into the weeds with who we're going to play, what seed we might be. I know that any team we play is going to be a good team. I also know that we're a good team as well, and I trust what we're able to do. And so the break was good, but I'm looking forward to getting in the gym and preparing for Illinois.
Is that kind of, I don't know, what this team's DNA is like, just whoever, wherever, whenever, just roll the ball out and let's go. Is that kind of why it wasn't on your mind about who you would play and all those possibilities as much? Because you've been doing all your careers, you're playing all over the country, and that's kind of what it's been like.
Yeah, I think so. We have a lot of experience. I sound like a broken record a bit. I can't tell you how many times I've said that throughout the years. But yeah. Yeah. No, it definitely helps though. Not even just this year, but throughout our whole career, we've seen so many different types of teams. We've played well, and that definitely gives you confidence going into it. This isn't our first time around the block, and so it definitely is different in the mindset and mentality of knowing what's to come.
You guys were part of the group that set the program record for most consecutive NCAA tournament appearances. But what's this moment like, just being in this position again and knowing that model of consistency?
Yeah, it's super cool. I think my freshman year when we went to the WNIT and just we haven't had to experience that again, and we gotta play in this tournament instead. It's super cool. I think as a group we just continue to elevate where the program's been and just keep raising the ceiling. So yeah, I'm proud of that, and I'm proud of this group.
Do you guys remember the lead up to the Colorado game at all at this point? Like,
Honestly, I remember the lead up to the Iowa game more than I do the the Colorado game. But I imagine that it was different. You know, it's both of our first NCAA tournaments. You know, we were also playing in Iowa City in front of a good crowd, and so it was different there. Definitely excitement. But like I said before, we've been here before, and so it's different in that aspect, just from nerves and everything.
Lauren, how are you feeling about this final ride? Morgan talked about it, but this is the last go of it.
Yeah, it's crazy. It came up really fast. I knew this year was going to fly by. My 4 years have been nothing but great here. And I don't think it's fully hit me yet that I'll be done, you know, in hopefully a few weeks. Yeah, it's definitely weird, and just trying to soak it all in, because it's a good place. College athletics is great. Being a part of a team, especially a team that's so awesome and filled with so many great people, it's going to be tough to leave. But just trying to be where my feet are this next week.
Do you all have any guesses what Coach's dance moves are that he still wants to figure out?
That's gonna be the downside of winning. You guys better choose winning, though.
The first thing that came to mind was like the splits. I saw him stretching his hamstrings post practice today, so maybe that's in the cards. Yeah. We'll see.
You won't see the splits. You might see something. It won't be that.
I guess why,
When you say thoughts, do you have anything to say just how good the senior class has been, and anything that you hope for that can play in the tournament as far as like the connection that you guys have built already?
Yeah, I hope they enjoy it because they deserve it. As I said out there, I mean, this dream for them didn't start in October. It didn't start last March when we lost to UCLA. It started many, many, many years ago for each of them, and it became a different dream when they came together and, you know, formed a team. But, you know, I'm sure from the blacktops of Crete to, you know, a driveway somewhere in Lakeville, you know, that's part of what was motivating them to put in the work that they've put in is to have this opportunity and have these moments. And so you just, yeah, you want this last ride to be special because they've, you know, somehow they found their way here, and just like Lauren said, they've let their feet be in that place, and they've embraced all of it, even the hard times, the adversity, you know, the heartache that goes with athletics. But these guys are super competitive, so I think that's you see what drives them, and yeah, I just hope they embrace this opportunity and relax and play. I mean, it's different. It's a conference tournament. It's a little bit more. There's a little bit more nerves, and then, you know, Lauren, you asked Lauren about the lead up to Colorado. Well, she gave up 2 right-hand drives to Jalen Sherrod early in that game.
That's right.
And I took her out way earlier than I ever did. I said, Lauren, we just worked on that. It's right hand, you know, when she catches it here, she's gonna fake left and go right. And Lauren gave that up twice. And then, you know, but you think about the tournament that she had, you know, and just, you know, she used the word reset. But that's what I love about this group is there's a reset. And, you know, even to think that UNLV, I think, Morgan can correct me because Morgan's memory is really good too, but I think, you know, I felt like you and Emma were both a little nervous last year against Vegas, and I took both of you guys out at the same time in the first quarter, and I'm like, I don't know if I did that all year, but Jamie came in, hit 2 threes, everybody kind of settled down, and that's part of what makes this team a team. Now, don't get off to bad starts. You know, but that's what makes our team. That's what has made our team special, is that, like, it's okay to have a little bit of a bump, but we've had people pick each other up, and I just think there's you know, that's what's made this group so special, is that they, you know, they lift each other up in those moments. Because I'm sure when I was yelling at Lauren to take away her right hand, somebody was saying, you know, you're fine, Flan's just whatever. So.
I'm kind of curious for you guys. This isn't a criticism of what's, you know, where the game's going, but you guys are kind of, I don't know, the tail end of a dying breed of people that have stayed together for as long as you have. I'm curious if that means anything to you, as especially as you get ready to, you know, this is the end. You know, whether it's 6 games or 1, this is the end of it. Like, does it mean anything to you guys that you've that through it all, the good and the bad, that you guys are stuck together and that you're gonna end it together?
Yeah, it means a lot. That's something that our whole class is really proud of us staying and coming back. I think it's a testament to our love for one another, our love for this program, and yeah, it means a lot to us. Like you said, it's rare in this day and age with the transfer portal, but I'm glad we all stayed. I'm really glad we all stayed and that we're able to have this last season together and to go into this NCAA tournament together.
Just from going to the tournament so many times now, is there any like little things that you've learned, okay, this is best if I do this on this day before, like just those little things of preparation that you've picked up now after a couple of years?
Yeah, I think trying to stick to a normal routine as much as possible, and also we're lucky that we've been here 3 times before this to know how to prepare for an NCAA tournament game and just lead up to it, because the routine's a little different, the schedule, media, how much time you have, all this stuff. So just kind of trying to stay true to who you are, to do what you need to do to get ready.
Matt chastised someone for rolling their eyes and Keegan, so I want to make sure that everybody get their questions. Everybody got their questions.
Oh. 'Cause they were.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
job. Sorry.
It was because they wanted all the non-UConn people out of professors. They cover everybody here, you know. Just one of the things you do when players are talking and kind of giving thoughtful answers is you just you really listen.
Yeah.
And I imagine some things go through your mind when they say things. What when they talk about how much they've been to each other, and, you know, as they get ready to do it for one more time, what goes through your mind?
I don't. You're just proud that you've had some sort of impact on them, and you're grateful that they've had the kind of impact on you that they've had. I got a really, really thoughtful text from Chevy this morning, who had coached here up until last year, and just talking about how one of the things she mentioned was how this experience and getting this reward will benefit them for the rest of their lives, because they've gotten confirmation that hard work pays off with, you know, the dessert that you get at the end of that hard work. And that doesn't mean you always get rewarded, but you know, just really that was impactful to me, because I think it's like, this is great. I look at sport like it's about now, and it's about how it builds you for the future. It's not one or the other. It doesn't skew toward, you know, it doesn't skew toward, hey, we just got to get these young people prepared, because what's the point if you can't really enjoy the hell out of this, right? Like, this is really fun and unique, and what a great opportunity. But on top of that, it's also building some of the habits and the belief that you're going to need later in life. Not just sport builds habits, but it also builds your belief that, again, you don't always get rewarded for working hard and mostly choosing to do the right things, but it kind of helps you kind confirm that, and I think that's a big piece of why you do it too when you're here.
Make a run in a tournament, you're gonna have to go through some of the best teams in the
Yeah.
country. What did your team learn from all the top 10 games that you played this year?
Yeah, I mean, it was just having played UConn really twice at their place. I mean, because let's face it, the Mohegan Sun is their place. In the last 2.5 weeks, I think that can be beneficial. I mean, for sure. The UCLA game just got away from us right away, so and even a little bit. I do believe that we dug ourselves out better this last UConn game than we did earlier in the year when we fell way behind against both UCLA and Kansas State. So I do think and part of that's our rotation's a little more set. It's not just the Warren and Morgan show where, like I just said, well, they may come out nervous and miss their first 3 or 4 shots each. How do we combat that? And I think we're more capable of that. I mean, I hope they don't go 0 for whatever to start the game, but I do feel like we're a little more capable of handling the emotional ups and downs of what good teams present. Good teams and really good teams stress you. So UConn stresses you a lot in so many areas, and the more times that you're in that environment, I think the more capable you are of getting past a stressful situation and moving on and kind of like Lauren talked about, just resetting and playing good basketball for a period of time. So we've seen a lot of good teams and a lot of different types of teams. You talk about that when you're as a staff this week. Okay, we got to be prepared to play size. We got to be prepared to play against pressure like UConn. Texas will be, if we're fortunate enough to get past Illinois, Texas will present a lot of the same issues on the defensive end that UConn presents, because they're an elite defensive team. So, but again, I think both from a player standpoint and a coach's standpoint, it's like, okay, what did we not do? How can we build a little bit better game plan? And then, what mechanisms can we give our players once we get in the game and we either need to modify something or not. I think those are things, when you play elite teams, and this is not a knock on our players, but you have to have a little bit of a plan B when you're playing teams that are physically either bigger, quicker, stronger, all those. You have to have some plan Bs, and I think by the end of the year, when you've played the schedule we have, you're more able to kind of put that in ahead of time, but also then get to that in game. Sorry, that's a lot.
Flan, what were your impressions of the seed number that was next to your name?
I thought we'd be a little higher, but it's fine. It's not like there's no difference between an 8 and a 9. So if people had projected us an 8, we're still in the 8-9 game, and the highest I was expecting would have been a 7. And from a procedural standpoint, they can knock you up one or knock you down 1. So it's fine. I do think, like, if you look at where we were last year and this year, I feel like we've been, maybe 1 over where we should have been both years. So you were kind of thinking, well, they maybe put us 1 worse than we should have been last year, but that's not how they work. So if our players need to use that, that's fine. But I mean, we're going to get ready for Illinois.
What's the mindset for your players and your coaching staff this year? How may it be different than you've seen them prepare for that NCAA tournament in the past few years?
Yeah, I think the thing to keep an eye on is just, like I said, is just their stress level, because it might mean it means a lot when you go to the NCAA tournament, but if they're just even a little bit tighter because it's the last go round for so many of them. So just kind of trying to, I think it's tough. You got to balance making this week fun, but also, have precision preparation where you're going to be really ready to go come Saturday. So, but just being in tune with some of that. Like I said, I would not have envisioned that I would take Morgan. Matt could probably tell you, but I think I did. I took Morgan and Emma off the floor together because I felt like they were both just a little bit jittery in the first round last year. And like I said, Jamie comes in, hits 2 threes, and now everybody's collectively breathing because the score jumps, and now Emma and Morgan come back in, and we led the rest of the game. And so just having that as a tool is something that's really helpful. But I do think this group can, Keone Lockett hit some huge free throws this last week, and that's going to help her, right? I mean, she made 6 free throws, 6 out of 6, including the 2 game winners against Georgetown. So she's got that in her head. And like I said, Jamie's experience, Kennedy Townsend's a year older, all those things. Because it isn't just Lauren and Morgan. I mean, they're the, they can't play poorly for us to win, but we need other players to be there and be just relaxed enough to be able to help us too.
Any further questions for Coach Matt?
Coach, do you have any sort of message to everyone out there expecting what Creighton's going to expect this year going into this last round?
We're going to compete. I don't want to tell you what happened in practice yesterday, but it was not like we'd been off for 4 days, and it got a little chippy, which is great, I don't know, but they want to prepare the right way. So it's, I think that's a tribute to their competitiveness, is that they know they have to have that little edge to be as good as they want to be. And just even the way we handled losing to Connecticut, it was our third, it was their third game in 3 days, but Morgan's physical health, like she hadn't practiced enough. I didn't think she could necessarily, be all that great on a third day in 3 games, third day in a row, because she's been limited in practice. And, I just thought that was going to make it really tough for us. But they were genuinely disappointed that we didn't beat UConn, and I think that goes to their again. Of course, we thought we could win, but that's the number 1 team in the net. It's basically a road game, and I just thought we had a genuine disappointment, which I think points to their competitiveness, and I think that's a big piece of it. Is who's gonna fight when maybe things don't go well in an NCAA tournament game at just a little bit higher level, because everybody's good.
Anything else for Flan?
Thanks, you guys. Appreciate it.